When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you in the championship rounds with King of Essex. So let's get to it. Quick recap of last week's action. Significant, but not in volume, just by magnitude. I'm talking about Jasmine Zapotoczna. Zapotoczna. All right. 8-1 with a big win over the prospect Maisey Rose Courtney. And I think there was a European title on the line, so kudos to her. Her only loss was to Shannon Ryan. So again, loving how the degrees of separation in the UK, they treat fighters, they treat competition a little bit better. All right. Now, what's next for Zapochnica? I think Zapochnica, I gotta get it right, right? But I think the Matchroom should get it right. Chloe Watson is a great opponent to approach that will give Zapoxina a good ranking in I forgot which governing body, but maybe WBO, right? But yeah, just give her some ranking. You know, we know the domestic ranking is significant, but we need to get Zapotnica on the Zapoxina. We need to get her on the world stage for that recognition. All right. Speaking of, let's not forget Maisey Rose Courtney. I got an opponent for you here. Lean in close. Katie Radomska. She's 4-4. She's a pretty solid opponent. Coming in off of a loss to Chloe Watson. So if you're looking at for the Chloe Watson fight, common opponent, maybe put you in a trajectory of a Zapoxina again for a rematch, building a rivalry, so to speak. All right. But let's move on. Let's talk about an opponent that has not had the chance to build a rivalry despite being a champion. IBF flyweight division, Gabriela Fundora, the Sweet Poison, I believe is a nickname, quirky little nickname. She's a good fighter, a little bit more flat-footed than what is desired against potential high-level boxers or boxers that will be a little bit more fluid in the ring. But that exciting style she does bring, that is typical of the Fundora household as far as I'm concerned. These guys are exciting fighters, and Gabriela is back in action. This is August 10th, so this is coming up pretty soon on the undercard of the Sergei Bohacek and Virgil Ortiz undercard. She's in there against Daniela Asenjo, 16-3 with 2 KOs. Let's get a look. I don't have to know much about the opponent. The record looks good. I believe she's out of Colombia. I'm not going to be too scrutinizing because we haven't seen Fundora in action. We thought that, okay, she held out, was trying to get the Marlena Esparza fight. Thankfully, the boxing gods made sure that Esparza and the unified champion, the Duke of the division, if you will, Chucky Alaniz, they can get their rematch. Remember, Esparza's has the lone loss on Alaniz's record. Now, Alaniz is a unified champion after defeating Esparza. Fundora may need a warm up before she gets in there with Alaniz. And that fight, ladies and gentlemen, would be action packed. And I will say, I give the slight edge in activity and movement to Alaniz. I think she learned her lesson from Esparza. But I'm not going to discount Gabriela Fundora and the power. I want to give her more than that, but right now I got to say the power and maybe the length and the reach that might present a challenge. But can't wait to see that when it happens. Also, what's happening is we're about 2 weeks away from the Summer Olympics in Paris. And there's a question out there. I've seen it floating around in the Twitter and social media sphere. Should professional fighters compete in the Olympics? Lots of people seem to think no. My question is, I mean, they do it in the NBA. I guess it would be for parity's sake. If other countries are allowed to have professional fighters, then all bets are off. We can have an Olympic dream team, if you will. However, if that's restricted on the international level, then nah, you got to blue chip it as in develop prospects, which is like I mentioned, the UK does that exceptionally well. better than the United States. Listen, we still haven't seen Jenny Fuchs catch on, and she was a prime Olympian class fighter, but still haven't seen her catch on in professional ranks. So I believe there's a disconnect stateside between the the Olympic participation and the presumed professional career. But that being said, this ties in because Beatrice Freire, she is a former silver medal Olympian. She is a current what is she? IBF lightweight division champ, and she's participating in the Olympics trying to get a gold medal. So she's doing it for Brazil. So you know, I don't see anything wrong with it because I guess I still see some development that Freire has to achieve. So it's like a like in the Bear when they send you to Copenhagen to get your skills right. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is Ferreire's version of going to Copenhagen, like Marcus and Carmi and those guys. But moving on, I want to talk about something else, just another topic that's going around. And Amanda Serrano and Claressa Shields tie into this because I guess I wrote it down in my notes. How do you handle a call out? Okay, so let's talk about it. Claressa Shields has a very, I believe, a very honorable way of the call out, right? Listen, you call out, you talk shit, whatever it is that you do, you put yourself in a position to where you become my adversary, and there may be the potential that the only way to figure this out is got to be physical. Sometimes it happens. Amanda Serrano, on the other hand, she doesn't do call outs, whatever that means, but still antagonistic because you want to be the $1 million woman, Mrs. Moneybags, and how much money you made over 15 years. And some people will, and now listen, when you look at her resume, look, we're talking about Yemelith Mercado just beat Ramla Ali, who Mercado lost to Amanda Serrano. So this is, I can't disrespect Amanda Serrano's legacy, but that's why I'm questioning the approaches. Claressa Shields, whether the person was invited or not, she made you, back up what you were saying. All right. And this individual didn't have a whole lot to say once the fisticuffs went to flying. All right. And I believe, to me, that's honor. It wasn't in the street, so to speak. This was in the ring. And so why not honor call outs? I'm a little bit disappointed that Amanda Serrano is not honoring her call out. Tiara Brown hasn't necessarily called her out specifically, directly, maybe taking the higher road, but Sky Nicolson is definitely calling you out, Amanda Serrano. And just to kind of talk about how much money you have, remember, when Jay-Z tried that with 50 Cent, 50 Cent came back to be a juggernaut. So be careful of trying to, I'm all about a dollar. Be careful speaking on the money, because sometimes people resonate with the grit of the underdog. And much as Sky Nicolson has been pampered and nepotized, all right. She's the underdog, or so it would seem, right? Talk about what's happened to her later. But how do you handle a call out? All right. Now, talking about Claressa Shields, because when you're talking women's boxing, you can't not mention the GWOAT. And the GWOAT was mentioned in an interview by Sky Sports Boxing. They were interviewing Lauren Price. She is the unified welterweight champion. She was able to get that opportunity ahead of Sandy Ryan. That was some bullshit. We know we need to see the rematch, but McCaskill sold her name, sold her resume to Lauren Price. Lauren Price earned the win, but look who softened her up. So, okay, but this is why I got to say that, because where in the hell do you get off even mentioning Lauren Price and Claressa Shields in the same breath, when we can get an all UK unification with Sandy Ryan and Lauren Price? We ain't even talking about the fact that Natasha Jonas, no matter how much I respect her, I care for her, elder statesman, still a little duck. Still a little duck. I get it. The money might not be right. And I don't know if I can say but the fight's got to happen somehow. And see, because this is why I'm an honorary Ryan, all right? Because Sister Sandy came up with an idea. This is her idea. She said, why not do a tournament? for the welterweight division. We've seen it before. There are precedents have been set. Of course, the Super Six with Andre Ward. We're also talking about more recently that Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis. You see the names that participate in the names don't go away, win or lose. This is what we need for the welterweight division. Turkey, Eddie, Matchroom, whoever. Come on, man. We need this thing to happen, all right? So forget about the Nepo baby, Sky Nicolson, popping the cherry on the first women's boxing in Riyadh. Forget about that. The first women's boxing event in Riyadh needs to be this welterweight division tournament for Undisputed, which was an idea presented by Sandy Ryan Promotions. And I might be a liaison. We got to talk to Rocky. We got to talk to Dave and you know what I mean? But we might expect a commission, Turkey. We'll talk about that later. But let's beat the drum for this welterweight division situation tournament, man. Come on, let's do that. Because there's titles on the line and business is getting sorted out. I mentioned last week the 100 and super bantamweight. I'm going to say 122 pounds, a super bantamweight division title that was formerly held by Erica Cruz. We thought it was going to be Nazarena Romero. Yes, she's in, but what's homie that lost to her in the clash of heads? Rivas. That's not happening. They, I guess Rivas may or may not be available. So Paulette Cuesta out of Mexico, she's up. And listen, Nazarena, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to stop all that cheese in this smile. I'd be happy to be here too. I got an amazing smile. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to grit your teeth, man, because how you coming to power puncher like you happy to be like a first time in America, man? Forget about all that. Stop being so Prince Hakeem. I'm very happy to be here. Come on, man. Knuckle down and knuckle down. Respectfully, okay? But that fight is happening August 24th for the vacant WBA title. Maybe somehow, like I said, Ramla Ali gets the Rivas fight or, more importantly, the Erica Cruz fight to put her back into contention in the super bantamweight division. Now, another fight announcement. It's more or less a showcase title defense, well-deserved, because listen, it's been a long time since the WBA gold has even been on this side of the hemisphere. It was held hostage by Hu Min Choi, and she refused to fight Alicia Bumgarner when Bumgarner was trying to get that title. And here we are, Jessica Camara of Canada has lifted that title. Matter of fact, no, this is not even the 130 title that she felt hostage, because the WBA, you know, they just make it up as they go along. Shout out to Gilberto Mendoza. I guess he gave her a belt at 135 because she couldn't make 130 anymore, whatever. And that WBA gold is now belonging to Canada's own Jessica the Cobra Camara, and she will be defending that title against Bonnie Hunter. 5-3 Bonnie Hunter. Don't let the record fool you. 5 of those wins, 3 of them by KO. And sometimes, you know, it's not the lack of pro fights. It's kind of what the amateur background is. We all have to do our homework on Hunt, but it would seem like more or less a showcase title defense for Camara until she can land a bigger fight. I'm hoping something down the line with Caroline Dubois. I'd like to see that happen. All right. But yeah, that's this September 14th. Should be a good bout. Yes, indeed. Now let's talk about fight week action real quick. There's a card from Nicaragua, Chocolatito. He's fighting on that card in the main event. However, the women's boxing on that one is Brooke Bryan out of California. I think she's out of like Monticello, California. 3-0, 1 KO prospect. I guess it's good to see Top Rank still in the women's boxing business. They've been allowing Queensberry to do most of the heavy lifting on behalf of Michaela Mayer. So it just doesn't seem like Sanisha Estrada's fighting anytime soon. So at least they got something to look forward over there with respect to women's boxing at Top Rank. But what everybody will be looking for this evening, man, I'm so excited. This weekend, Sky Nicolson against Deanna Vargas. Now, I'm watching this and I'm saying Deanna Vargas, I know she's a puncher, 19-1 with 12 KOs, limited opposition, but doing with the opposition what she should be doing. And in a way, like I said, Amanda Serrano, you got to honor this. This is her version of Stevie Morgan. Now I know you're on your way to the Katie Taylor fight, which isn't necessary, but since you love money, that's where you'll go. I'm just saying, Nicolson can come out of this fight saying, hey, you fought a big puncher, I fought a big puncher, and she didn't lay a glove on me. So I think I can stand in front of Serrano, and Serrano may get a Shakur label if she, just controls the distance, should she get the Serrano fight. But it would be impressive because it would mean that she had won the fight using her game plan against Serrano's best attributes. So what I'm saying is, maybe a foregone conclusion, but not so fast. I'm just assuming that Nicolson is going to use that jab, southpaw stance, make it tricky for a fighter that may be relying on that power to get Nicolson up out of there. It ain't going to happen. It'll go the whole 10 rounds and you'll be miserable trying to get her up out of there. So that being said, I would have loved to have been there in person to see her stateside, but she's going to continue to call Serrano out, and deservedly so. Still got that mandatory to handle with Tiara Brown. So just lots of significance in this bout. All right. That's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. If you see something, say something. Definitely drop a comment, drop a like, share this. Yeah, man, I love you guys, man. I hope you appreciate what I'm doing because I do it for you. I do it for us. This thing of ours. Women's boxing is boxing. The warden of it, King Amin of Essex. I'm out.